Hello and welcome to this special live stream that I've got for you. You're amazing. You're an amazing community. And we're going to hear a lot from every single one in this community. However, right now is only me speaking. Only me. This is the most important video I've ever done. The most important video I have ever done and probably will ever do. Because this is about the life. This is about the life of the first High Commander of the highest source that got activated on planet Earth. And he passed the torch of the light over to me. And what I just did has passed the torch of the light back to Errol. Everything that comes around goes around. He helps me to become and show me what it means to be a High Commander of the highest source, protector of the earth, and preserver of all life on the earth, and guardian of the earth, to protect all life. That's what Errol showed me. And now I am in a position, the only one on this planet in a position to do what I just did is right here speaking to you. Stephen Wybra, High Commander of the highest source, protector of the earth, and guardian of the earth, preserver of all life on this earth plane. I want to read a message that came to me from Errol's mum today. And that's going to be the introduction to explaining what just took place with me. And you know what day it is today. And I'm eager to hear anyone share about this day today. You know what day it is. You know what I mean when I say that. So, in my responsibility that I took in claiming Eril Kaya as my property, I also by taking this responsibility, I'm responsible to be there for Eril's parents, and especially for Eril's mother, as well as his father, but especially his mother. That's the connection that I feel. It's very important. So I wrote to her again today, if you want to speak. I told her, if you want to speak with me, I'm here. Just call in whenever. I'm here for you. So this is what she wrote back to me, and this is leading up to the point that I'm making here. This is the entire point of this video. Hermetically sealed and protected. The only point I'm going to make. And you can take that point also from how I'm titling this video and how I have titled this live stream, because it's pointed. It's the only thing that has ever mattered and will ever matter. Everything else is secondary. This is primary. This is principality, principle, king archetype. The most important is what I'm going to explain and elaborate on now. So after telling Errol's mum that I'm here to speak with her, she wrote to me, and I took a screenshot of that. Not convenient at the moment, she says. So much happening here. We are still waiting for the embassy to phone. And then she asks me, the most important here, have you got any news? And I respond with my responsibility. I respond the following. Because I was asked the question, have you got any news? And I say, yes. The news is that I create the news. This is the entire point. Anyone who has listened to this up to now and got it, congratulations. Congratulations. However, there's levels of decoding and understanding and overstanding of what I just said. Well, actually only understanding. There's no overstanding here. What I just said, there is only understanding of, because it's the highest principle. You can only understand the principles of the natural order. That is the only thing that I understand. And will never dare to say I overstand, because then I would be a Satanist. That is the very difference between me, Errol and Errol Kaya, to Satanists. Me and Errol understand the natural order. And they, in their dementia, think they can overstand the natural order. Which is why they're getting killed right now. This ultimately leads to death. The death of the cult of death. And that is what they deserve, because they're a death cult. However, they want to inflict it on everyone around them, just not them, because they'll always play victim. Oh, I'm such a victim. Although they commit countless crimes, it cannot even be measured. It's so far out of the spectrum that no one knows that they're doing it. It goes along the saying of a man called, in history, Joseph Goebbels: you need to make a lie very big. The bigger you make the lie, the more people will believe it. Yeah, and the lie is huge. So, coming back to my point, shall I? I was asked a question by Errol's mum, in her level of consciousness, which is not a critique, I'm just explaining. Have you got any news? And before that, we are still waiting for the embassy to phone. That's the problem. That is the biggest problem we have in the world here. Exemplified by one sentence, this is the biggest problem we have in the world. I'm going to repeat. We are still waiting for the embassy to phone. I could also use, we are still waiting for the truckers to speak to the politicians. We are still waiting for Rainer Füllmich to file his criminal charges. We are still waiting to pull our head out of our ass. That's what everyone's waiting for. To pull their head out of their ass. That's what you're waiting for. To pull your head out of your ass. That's what you're waiting for. And I have to speak this way. Because I'm a high commander of this plane. Nothing happens without me speaking, without me knowing. It means being the capstone. It means that I have taken full responsibility for this planet. That's why everyone is silent when I speak. I have to be like this, because otherwise I'd be killed in any moment. I have to be this way. And the only ones who truly understand this, where is the medicine? Unfortunately not here, are ayahuasca and datura, most certainly datura. Now she's like, now our boy is finally getting it, yes. It's the biggest problem, waiting for the embassy that told you, meaning Errol's mum, that told you that you need to get consent from your own son for them to share information with you as parents of your son who's been locked up in prison since Wednesday without any legitimacy, without any contract having been signed. The embassy tells you as parents, after nearly a week where he's been locked away without his consent, without contract, without any legal and lawful basis, the huge crime that they're committing to your son, and you're still waiting for the embassy. And then we go to the question, have you got any news? If I have got any news, and she is right. She is right there. You see, the sentence before is the biggest problem in the world. And the question afterwards, she was as king, applying the king principle as king, if I have any news. And that's correct. The only one on this entire planet who has got the most relevant news on World War III. It's not gonna come from Putin, who is controlled by the involutionary force. Every word he says comes from Satan directly. It's not gonna come from a senile old farthead with the title of President of the United States. That alone should give us the sign that this whole matrix is a lunatic asylum. You're not gonna have any news on World War III from that piece of trash. And you're also not gonna have any news from a little boy called Justin Trudeau. Because that's all he is. He's a little fuckwit, a little boy a little nothing. And that's what they all are. That's what they all have in common. You're nothing. The most important relevant news is exclusively only with me. Anyone who thinks I'm an egoist, I'm a narcissist, I couldn't care less. We're in charge, not you. I'm in charge, not you. Because I have taken the full responsibility for Errol Kaya. I wrote all the documents, did the videos, worked my ass off the last days. And now I'm getting the fruits of my labor. Now, as I speak, I am creating magic. The single only one thing that the entire control structure, the entire multidimensional Archon Demiurge Wetiko matrix is afraid of, is you creating magic. And it is the principle of the one. The principle of the one. Only one. It's only one. That responsibility was put onto me directly to do that. Because yes, I have the news, because I create the news. So after that, after those two statements, I try and call Errol's mum, because I realized, oh my goodness, maybe I have forgotten the most important thing, which is that I'm able to claim Errol as my property and actually get his consent on that, the most important thing. And I realized that I only had the presumption of his consent up to now. And that what still needed to be done. And straight away, as I'm cleaning up here, straight away, I finished cleaning the floors because I want to have it tidy when my amazing dear friend Errol Kaya comes back here into his home. This is his home here. He belongs here. I immediately go to the laptop and try and call Errol's mum, and she's on the call with someone else. I straight away went and called her because you know what I want, you see what trick that I fell into? I wanted to go to Errol's mum and get consent from her in the name of Errol because she's his mum. And then I realized I clocked it. This is where I finally got it. The most important thing. And it was because I tried to call Errol's mum and she was on another call, so I stopped the call and then it shows up. 11:11. I tried to call her at exactly 11:11 o'clock on the 22/02/2022. And that was the trigger. To take a moment in the 11:11, the trigger was activated and the gate was open. On this unique day. because it's even mirrored. You turn the whole thing upside down 180 degrees, and it's always mirrored. You've got 6 2s in there. It's amazing. And at 11:11 exactly, I'm like, I'm gonna take it now. I'm gonna take that opportunity. So I connected with Errol. I connected my heart to the source, to the highest source and the origin of all life force. I connected my heart to the heart of Eril Kaya, and I asked him, do you give me your consent for me, Stephen Wybrow, claiming you as my property? Yes or no? And he said yes. And the entire fabric of reality, infinite possibilities of waveform structures, collapsed in that moment. It all collapsed and manifested in that moment for me to be tuned to that reality. And it was only possible because I got the consent of Eril Kaya. This is the news. This is how magic is created, and I had overlooked that I needed the consent, not the presumption of consent. That's Satanism. I actually need the consent. And so all the codes of reality got transformed in that instant, in that moment. And now the truth reigns. And I now fully expect Errol to be released, because the whole matrix now works for us. This is how it has to be, because the matrix is not only a prison. Okay, this would be the black and white thinking that they want to keep us locked in the matrix by being in black and white thinking that the matrix is a prison that we have to break free from. Yeah, we have to break free from it and become free, transcend the matrix. But with that, we have to know what the matrix is and why we are in the matrix. The why leads us to the causal level of reality, to the causality. It's the question why that brought you here and that brought me here. Why are we here? And the matrix is, it's 2 sides of a coin, multidimensionality. And this is taking on a higher level of consciousness, not seeing black and white, the matrix only as a prison. But it's actually, the matrix is actually also a school. It's a prison and a school at the same time. When you pass the lesson, like in school, the matrix ends to be a prison because you're out of the prison. And when you're out of the prison, the matrix serves you. All the agents, all gets transformed, and all the agents work for you. Like in the movie where the machines suddenly stood down because of the will of Neo. And that will of Neo was represented by my will in that moment at exactly 11:11 on the 22nd of the 2nd month of the year 2022. And everything got transformed. And all I have to do now is just let go. That's why I'm doing this video also. First of all, sharing that as an an anchor for my perception. I did this video, no doubt about it, no doubt can creep in, no hack can creep in, because that's what happened in the morning again today. I woke up and I'm like doubting, I'm like, oh, did I do, maybe that wasn't right. Doesn't matter, it's just little petty details. And I was doubting. But those doubts were fed to me again by the black magicians in order for me not to manifest this. They do not want us to manifest magic. That's why there's so much pressure on this situation. That's why I feel under so much pressure the whole time. That's why I have to lay down 3 times a day and sleep. There's so much pressure on this for us to never, ever manifest and create magic. Because if we pull off this magic trick, it's totally game over. The next thing that happens is the total takeover. The total takeover. And that's why this whole situation with Errol even came into existence. There is a reason for that. And the reason is to initiate me into my life's purpose, which is to take down all the criminals and all the criminal institutions in the country that I am, here in Austria. And because I know this, and because it's my life's purpose, no one, not a single being throughout the multiverses is allowed to cross my path as I'm doing this. Because my will is stronger than the will of the environment, and I showed it in that moment at 11:11. Before that, I was wanting to get the consent of Errol from his mother, because she's his mother, and then I realized the only one who knows what's really going on with the situation with Errol, and therefore that being the epicenter where as I explained yesterday, where the stone drops into the pond and all the ripples go out and the war flares up in Australia, Canada, Ukraine, and all that. Because I'm the only one who knows what's really going on with the situation with Errol. I have also the highest authority to speak on the happenings of this war, because I know what the epicenter is all about. And who is talking about the epicenter of World War III on this planet? And that being Austria, the center of Satanism and the center of the heart of the earth. Then you know who has the highest authority to speak about this subject, and why no war can kick off anywhere. No full-on war can kick off anywhere. Because we are dealing with the situation here in Austria with Errol. So that's what I wanted to share with you. And the truth is so deep, and it goes even far deeper than I'm still aware of. Every day I wake up, I decode deeper levels of this. So when you're speaking truth, the idiots, okay, who don't believe in themselves, who then want you also to not believe in yourself, when that isn't possible because you believe in yourself, the idiots who don't believe in themselves then want to frame you as narcissistic, superiority complex. Who are you? Well, I am an embodiment of the highest source that created all life. Fully conscious of that fact. And everyone has their own life as experience to come into contact with that level of gnosis. And that's why I know we're getting Errol back today. The timing is always in the source's hands. But I say my will is today, and that will happen, sir. Let's see how the magic manifests and does its work. I've done everything in my power to manifest that. Thank you to all of you. Gonna take calls. However, before that, I want to finish this talk, and then I upload it everywhere. And I finish it once again with, as long as the roots of wickedness is hidden, it is strong. When it is recognized, it dissolves. When it is revealed, it perishes. This is the kill. And we got our dear, dear brother, Errol Kaya, back.